you heard the Disney conversation, okay? If you heard the Disney conversation, which I know you did, flash twice. Flash it twice, please.
Oh,
that was a good try.
For y'all like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to get into more of Audacity stitches of these ghost stories. Let's get right into it. Y'all comment down below.
My mom talks to dead people. And my dad died like 6 months ago. And we just got back from dinner and it was really significant. So quick background context, and you have to see this video. He wants his ashes scattered in some of his favorite places. One of those places is Disney World, for better or for worse. So we know we have to go back to Disney World. The people we were at dinner with have come to Disney with us when I was younger. Now they have kids of their own. And we just talked about doing this whole group trip to Disney World with their kids to scatter his ashes. Emotional, we're all crying. We get home, mom goes to the bathroom. She's sitting on the toilet and she's like, someone's here, come here. So I walk into the bathroom and this happens.
Dad, if this is you, can you flash one big time? One big time. Dad, if this is you. Did you see it?
Not a big time now.
Come on, flash bigger. Flash it stronger. There we go. Thank you.
Oh my gosh.
Thank you. If you heard the Disney conversation, okay? If you heard the Disney conversation, which I know you did, flash twice. Flash it twice, please.
Oh,
that was a good try.
And tell you this ghost story. So, when I was a kid, back in 1997, 98, 97, I seen this little shadow, all right, by the front. And I remember I was standing here, and I was about this tall, and I seen a shadow right here, like right here, and it ran off. So I tried to explain that to people what I saw, my mom, my brother, and I guess they thought I was making it up, until I moved back into my childhood home, and my daughter came to stay with me, and she asked me, she said, "Dad, did you say this house is haunted?" And I said, "Yeah," jokingly, but yeah. She said, "I think I saw something." And then I got serious and I asked her, "Was there a little boy?" And she said, "Yeah, it was." And then I replied just by saying, "Wow, he's still here." And then I thought about it. I'm like,
probably the first few nights that I lived in the apartment, my then 6-year-old had walked into my room and it looked exactly like her. The blonde hair, she had on a long pajama dress, and it was like red, like plaid, like kind of looked like Christmas pajamas, and it wasn't something that my daughter actually owned, like as I was thinking about on the other side, because as she walked over to me, I just said, "Oh, baby, did you have a bad dream? Come here." And I sat up in bed, and now she was walking over to me, and I went to go put my arms around her. Nothing was there. So I either like hallucinated or it was a ghost, but a very detailed ghost, because it looked exactly like her, and then she even had on pajamas that I knew that.
Now, y'all comment down below y'all thoughts so far, especially the one with the last story. I think that was probably a ghost, especially if she didn't feel anything. And then the guy before that, another ghost. And then the one that's actively hunting them right now. I don't even think it's hunting them. I just think the dad's spirit is coming back and talking to them. And I think they understand that. Y'all comment down below y'all thoughts so far.
I was spending the night at my grandparents' house one time. And this was around Easter when I was about 13 years old. And I was laying in a recliner by the bottom of a staircase. It just kind of was like a lay down recliner, whatever, but that's where we were sleeping. And my cousin was on the other side of me, and my other cousin, Jennifer, was in the back of the room. And at one point, we're just laying there talking, blah, blah, blah. And I look over and I see a shriveled, weird little goblin-looking head peering from around the wall up near the staircase, just like fingers around the wall and a face going like this at me. And I go to my cousin that's literally over here. I go, "Kyle, do you see that?" And he's like, yeah. And I'm like, oh my God.
And I was doing laundry because the laundry was down in the basement, and I noticed that this jacuzzi is running. Now, mind you, the only people who had a key to this house were myself, my dad, who lived about 4 hours away, and Grandma. So I called Grandma and I called my dad to ask him, hey, did any of you come over and do anything at all with this jacuzzi? And both of them were like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. Why? And I said, well, the pump on the jacuzzi is running. Grandma's like, well, is it filled? So I went, took the cover off the jacuzzi, and sure enough, this jacuzzi is completely full of water. It had chlorine in it, like it was completely set up, ready to go. The jets were going and everything. Now, this house is in the middle of the country. There's no one around. If you didn't know where you were going, if you didn't know the address, you wouldn't know this house existed. So it was really weird. This jacuzzi was all of a sudden completely full of water. The pumps were running and everything, and it was warm. So I'm like, all right, that's really strange, but turned it off because I wasn't going to use it or anything at that time. Turned off the jacuzzi, went about my day. A couple days later, I am laying in bed in the master bedroom, or what was the master bedroom, just laying there watching TV, doing some homework, and it's probably about midnight at this point in time. And all of a sudden, someone feels like they sit down on the foot of the bed, kind of where my feet are. And I'm like, well, that's a little weird. And then I sit up in bed, and you can literally see like an imprint on the cushions, and it was like a memory foam mattress. If the mattress sunk in, like someone was actually sitting there on the foot of the bed with me. So I'm like, that's a bit strange as well.
I had turned all the lights off. My sisters and my mom was straight up front, so I shut both of the doors, the front door to the kitchen, and then the second door going back to my part of the house. In my room, vibing, lights turned off, music playing, in the bed, chilling. So I hear my mama call my name, and it was like 4 or 5 times. So I turn my music off. I'm like, yes, yes, ma'am. What you need, mom? Never heard nothing. So shit, I'm like, let me turn my damn music back on. Obviously, it wasn't that important. That's how I was feeling at the time. Y'all, I turn my music back on, and they can't hear in the front of the house what I have going on. I could have a whole fucking house full of friends in the house. Nobody would know it. So I turn my music back on, y'all, and I hear my mama scream my name. So I'm like, at this point, let me get the fuck up and go see what's really going on, because something going on. Y'all, I opened my room door, and the screen door where the back door is was like, boom. As soon as I opened my door. That shit sent me in a frenzy. So I turned the light on, looked outside the back door, y'all. The screen door was locked from the inside in. Like somebody in the house had to lock it, and the back door was locked. So that was the first red flag that threw me off. Mind you, my room and stuff is still dark, and the music is still playing, but it's low. The only light on is the light in this hallway. So I opened the door to go through the kitchen, the first door, and then I opened the second door to get to the front of the house. Y'all, I went in my mama's room, I'm like, girl, this is how we talk to each other. I'm like, girl, you keep calling my name. What's going on? Like, you got me back there scared. What's going on? Because I keep hearing you say my name. Y'all, my mama turned around. She was on her phone. She turned around, looked at me. She said, I have not called your fucking name. These are her exact words. I have not called your fucking name. If I needed you, I would have called your phone, or I would have walked back there. I know you said you was playing your music. So we were staring at each other, just looking at each other like something ain't right. So I was like, Mom, I'm telling you, I heard somebody saying my name and it was your voice. Like, please don't tell me that wasn't you. And I kept saying, ma'am, She was like, next time you hear something like that, just come up here and call me on the phone and see if it was me. She was like, don't answer to, because we have this thing, and y'all, I got chill bumps. I'm sorry, I keep pausing. We have this thing where ghosts are real. Like, let's just say that spirits are real. Like, we believe that spirits were real. So I went back to the back of the house, y'all. The doors that I had open to get back to my room, the 2 doors in the kitchen were fucking closed. The light that I turned on in the hallway was off, and my room door was closed when I left it open. Why the fuck, when I got back to the back of the house, y'all, my room door was closed, that light was off, the 2 kitchen doors was closed, and the goddamn lights in my room were on, and the speaker was loud as fuck. The gaming system on the computer.
Now, y'all comment down y'all thoughts on what do y'all think that could have been. Do y'all think that could have been a ghost, a hand spirit, a demon messing with him? Because the lights and all that gaming stuff, that would have, or mimic, that's what it's kind of put me in the mind of. And the guy that spent the night at his grandparents' house when he was a small baby, not a small baby, but a kid, but what was that, like a gremlin or what is it, a leprechaun or something? I don't know what was that. Y'all comment down below what y'all thought so far. Let's get back into it. We got 3 more
I
stories.
just remember going to bed one night. I remember being asleep. I remember feeling like my body jerked down as if like I was getting pulled down like by my feet. I felt like I woke up, but I might not have woke up. I may have woken up like in a dream. So I feel like I went to lay back down. I didn't get up out the bed or anything like that. I may have just sat up, but I laid back down, and then I saw something in a corner by my door, like a shadow or something. So instinctively, I learned from my grandmother that anytime I felt uncomfortable or I thought something was going on, spiritual wise, so I would repeat, whether out loud or in my mind, I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. So I literally was saying that in my mind. I wasn't saying it out loud at all, but I was hearing my voice say it, right? So I just remember something walking out from the corner. He had like a cape on, almost like as if he was like the ringmaster or something of like a circus. He had a top hat, he had a cane, and he just walked out. He was just laughing. Just like a weird laugh. So as I was saying, I rebuke in the name of Jesus, he was saying it back to me as if like he was mocking me. And then at that moment, once I saw it, I hopped up out of the bed. And then it was almost like I was saying things in my mind that he would be saying out loud. So I'll be like, okay, Jessica, you know, like, stuff like this isn't real. Like, it's not real. And he's like, oh, you don't think I'm real? You don't think I'm real? Like, you don't think you're really seeing me? And then I felt like I started talking back to like, no, I know you're not real. Like, I know that spirits exist, but there's no way that you're in my house right now. Like, this isn't real. And like, I just remember him like laughing and chuckling, and not like, no, like an evil type of laugh, right? And then I remember being like, I'm gonna call my mother because I call my mama for everything. So I was like, I know you're not real, and I'm finna prove it, and I'm finna call my mama. So I just remember the bed being here, maybe like me being on one side of the bed and him being on the other side of the bed, and we're just kind of like doing like this as we were kind of having like the conversation. So I just remember jumping in the bed and him like bum rushing the bed at the same time. He didn't get in the bed, but I felt like we were both like doing it at the same time. So I got in the bed and I was like, grabbed my phone, and then I did, whatever, and I hit mom. And as soon as I went to hit her name or press the green phone, like, I instantly woke up. And I was like in my mind, I was like, that was hella weird. And then I noticed that like I was in my bed, I was laying, on my side, like how I sleep, but I had my phone in my hand. And it said mom.
Group of people that had just joined up, and we decided, let's just do an impromptu ghost hunt. And we ended up finding this cemetery on this back road. And the thing about it was relatively new. And, figured it would be a good place just to fuck around, see if we could get anything. Needless to say, we did. So we get out of the car. We all piled into a red Pontiac Sunfire. Now, 5 people in a Pontiac Sunfire is fucking pushing it. But we all get out of the car. We get our equipment out of the trunk, turn it on, and immediately just start getting like EMF hits on our K2s. And we walked away from the car. Like, it was right around the car that we were getting all this stuff. It was like, oh yeah, this is nothing. All right, let's go into the cemetery. We weren't great. We still aren't. But we go off into the cemetery, split into 2 groups, and we're getting like jack shit. So one of the groups decides to go back to the car, and they start getting stuff on their meters again, which is very weird. I don't know if they assumed it was the car, but like the car was off. There was no electromagnetic shit happening because the car was off. So they eventually like got the hits and then just walked away again. Again, we were fucking idiots. So we split up and we changed teams up. And the guy that I'm with, we're getting like nothing. It's getting darker out and shit. So we decide to go over to the car. And lo and behold, we're getting meter hits. And the first thing that we notice, because, we didn't just walk away from it with just ignoring it, but we noticed that we would stand there for a couple of minutes and the meter, it would stop. And then you would move forward again and it would be there again. And what we found was whatever this was walking around the car. It was moving around the vehicle.
Entirely true.
So one of my best friends used to live in a house that we swear was haunted because there was just creepy things going on a lot of the time. This one particular night that really stands out in my mind, and it still has me freaked out when I talk about it. So I was spending the night at her house the one night. We were probably about 10, 12, something like that. And we used to stay in her basement, which I know that sounds creepy already. But she had bunk beds down there, like a TV, all of her toys and stuff, so that's why we did that. But we were watching a movie that night. It was probably around 2 a.m. or something when she decided that she needed something out of her bedroom. So I went upstairs with her because the basement did creep me out a little bit and I didn't want to stay down there by myself. So we started going upstairs. We left all the lights off because her parents and her older sister were asleep. We didn't want to wake them up. I think there was a light on maybe in the kitchen or something, because it wasn't completely black, but it was still really dark, just a little bit of a glow. But it was dark enough that we started walking down the hallway, and the way her house is set up was her bedroom was the first on the right in the hallway, and then you go a little bit further down, the bathroom was the first one on the left, and then her older sister and her parents' bedrooms were behind that. So we start walking down the hallway, and my friend went in front of me. I'll just call her Val. So Val was walking in front of me. All I see of her is a black silhouette, which I just thought was normal at the time because it was so dark. But then I see the black silhouette that I thought was Val turn right and go into her bedroom, but didn't turn the light on, which I thought was a little odd, but I just followed into the bedroom. I flipped the switch on and she wasn't there. So I called out for her. I was like, Val? And she came out of the bathroom a little bit down the hallway and asked me what happened. And so I told her what happened, and she just very nonchalantly says, oh, it'll probably be back later. I was like, I'm sorry, what?